Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday edition of the Paranormal Weekend Morning Brew Show. Boy, that's a mouthful first thing in the morning. And happy Saturday morning to everybody, and happy birthday to all those beautiful babies that were born today from 0 to 196. And if you're 196 going on 197, I would need you on this podcast because you are a miracle. All righty. Now, we're going to go through some of the disclaimers and stuff. We are doing a couple giveaways this morning, so be ready for that. With pen and paper and coffee in hand, you might want to take down some notes, okay? Because it could get a little hairy around some of these corners. All right, we are claiming fair use of any and all content. That's any and all content. The channel may use some copyrighted materials without specific authorization of the owner, but contends that it uses it under the Fair Use Act of 1976. Okay. Nighthawk High Strange, this podcast channel, Midwest Nightwalkers, all of its podcasts and all of its hosts do declare, fair use of any and all content, that's any and all content, to be used for the sole purpose of informing you, the viewing family, of information for educational purposes, general knowledge only, criticism, news reporting, commentary, teaching, parody, research, and everything else in between that anybody tries to claim fair use of. Let's see, under the provision of the 1976 Fair Use Act, Section 107. Okay. Furthermore, that also includes the music and any advertising. Okay. That being said, I'm going to put something else up. Let's see here. Sorry, I had a long night. Trying to get some things done, and you know how that goes at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're trying to do something and nothing goes right. All right, let's see here. Not to mention technical problems this morning. So, all righty. We are going to start off today with Grandmaster G and the Mr. Deplorables himself, Dennis. And we are going to get into the thick of the paranormal. Okay, let me take this off of there while we got everybody on there. Good morning, everybody.
Morning. I had a rough morning, William. Spent 2 hours being pursued by the paparazzi in the Walmart parking lot, man. It was rough.
You sure it was the paparazzi and not the men with the?
It might have been security wanting to know what I was doing with my truck. I don't know. You never know.
You sure it was your truck?
I don't know. It might have been something about my truck. I don't know what it was.
Well, let me say hello to everybody this morning. First off, all right, we have a lot of people in the house already. I guess the word giveaway gets you going. All right, see here. Wow.
You know, you have some weird. You know what? If you want to see some weird creatures or get close to the paranormal, hang out at the Walmart parking lot. You will see some very strange stuff. Okay.
That's where I do some of my best video work.
Yeah.
Good morning, Aussie Sue. Good morning, G. Good morning, Raven Creek Charms. Good morning, Juno, my brother. Alrighty. And Jack Weldon Braun, good morning. Lori Barnes, good morning. BD Warrior. See, I slowed it down and I got it right. Good morning. Val, Southwest PA.
That's a tongue
good
twister
morning.
there. Tongue twister.
Blocksville. Good morning to you. Scott, good morning to you. And who else out in the house? We got Cynthia. Good morning to you. Let's see. Other than that, I think that might be all. Yeah, I think that might be all. Let's see here. Now, GZ87, good morning to you. Okay, Rocky, good morning. Good to see you. Okay, and I believe that is it. Unless somebody else, if I missed you, I apologize. I will make it up to you somehow. Okay.
His birthday.
Oh, okay. Happy birthday.
Yeah. Yeah.
GC87,
cool.
happy birthday to you.
And try not to drink too much. You know, GZ, you must be well, you're 21. He's 20. They're 21 now.
Oh yeah, you want to go ahead
and
celebrate. You're legal now.
Okay. Anyways, I was going to leave the topic of the day up to you guys if you wanted to. I just couldn't get into it, so I was going to refer to the chat and see what they would want to talk about.
Well, did you get that picture I sent you, showing you that new stuff, that appeal stuff I talked about last night that they're putting on fruit? Did you get that picture, William?
No, I didn't.
It's called appeal. Appeal. APEAL, I think is how it's spelled. But it's a coating that they're putting on fruit, and they say it's supposed to preserve it and keep germs and all that off of it. But here's the weird part about it. And a lot of Hollywood celebrities have got on board with this, and they're endorsing it and buying stock in this. That this stuff they spray on your vegetables, your vegetables and your fruit, it does protect them, but it doesn't come off. You can't wash it off. You're eating the stuff, and nobody knows what the heck it's going to do to you.
Yeah, they can call it wax all they want, but it's not wax. If it's wax, it's the good stuff. It's the carnauba wax.
Yeah.
Anyways,
but I'm always suspicious when a lot of Hollywood celebrities get in on something like that. I can always make sends up a red flag there. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, anytime Hollywood gets involved in anything, it sends up a red flag. So. Now, I'm going to show everybody some of these great stickers that G and Chiro got made up for us. Again, these are just some great stickers. And we're going to be giving them away. Okay.
Yeah.
Along with, along with a couple other stickers that we might be throwing in there.
We're going to have to start calling him the artist known as G from now on.
The ghost in the hoodie. You get it? Ghost in the hoodie. Okay. And of course we got the UFO getting hugged by the cat and the sloth.
Cats show up everywhere, don't they?
Yep. And then of course we got all the other little ghosties going on.
Yeah.
And we got a couple other ones. I'm not going to bore you with that, but let me see if I can find some.
Gaggle of ghosts. What would you call a bunch of ghosts? A haunting of ghosts? I guess probably, wouldn't you? Like a gaggle of geese.
Yeah.
A scream.
Court of owls.
I think it's a
haunting of ghosts. Yeah.
Let's see here. We are going to give those away. Okay, I'm thinking in my head as I'm saying this. And then, we have a survival bracelet we're giving away.
Oh,
and
yeah,
just
nice.
so it and just so it's a matching ensemble, we're giving away a Gone Squatching bracelet.
Oh, okay.
That way it'll match. That way it'll match. Look at that.
Right. Yeah. You'll be coordinated out there in the woods. Passion coordinated.
Yep, exactly. You won't get bored because you'll have the makings of making your own banjo out in the middle of nowhere. I get it, banjo.
Be squat styling.
Yeah, be squalling, that's for sure. Alrighty. Anyways, we're gonna get one of the giveaways off right away here. What was the name of the coating on the fruit that Dennis was just mentioning? The first one to mention that in the comments in the chat will get the sticker pack.
Okay. We're waiting. There goes that Jeopardy song. Okay. We need to record that and use that one.
I think was it Val? Lori maybe first.
We'll see how close people are listening this morning. Get your ears on now.
Lori Barnes won it. Appeal. All right. So, Laura, you'll have all those stickers coming to you and more. Okay. So I'll set those aside for Lori. Congratulations. All right. That's a way to start off the podcast. Now we just have the other. Right. We're going to do one more sticker giveaway later on, and then we got the bracelets. So you guys go out, let me see. I don't see any suggestions in the comments about what they want to know. You guys in the chat, if you have anything you want information on, now's the time to ask.
Yeah, throw it at us there. We're waiting. Give us a suggestion of what you want to talk about today, or what you want to know. Question or anything.
Yeah, whether it's Bigfoot, ghosts, dogman, UFOs, goblins, aliens, portals, you name it. It could be anything. You just go ahead and ask it, and I'll put it up, and the guys will answer it for you.
Giants, dragons, whatever.
That has his thinking cap on today.
Yeah. I'm expecting rain.
The artist known as G.
That's what a lady told me not long ago. Said she knows why men wear hats so much. It's that they don't want to comb their hair. That makes sense when you think about it. Yeah, I guess so. They don't want to comb their hair. They just put a hat on and leave.
Yep.
Here's a good topic. Look at this. Here's a really good topic, and one we haven't discussed in a while. Yeah. All right. Since it's your birthday, we're going to go ahead and open up with the Black-Eyed Kids. Yeah, that's a good subject there. You guys go ahead, and I'll be posting the comments, and
well, they're creepy little devils. Oh, they definitely are. You don't want them hanging around your house, and if you should ever be confronted by these entities, whatever they may be, do not let them in your house. That's what they want. They want to be invited in, like vampires or evil spirits. They want to be invited in, and that gives them authority and power there when they have that invitation. It's an open contract. It's just a bad thing to do. Don't do that. And I've had a lot of people, Geryl, tell me about stories where they'll have a knock on the door and they'll go to the door, they'll open the door and look out, there's nobody there. I said, I don't like to hear that because you should look first before you open the door. Common sense tells you safety protocols in place. Always make sure what's on the other side of that door before you open it up. But when you open that door up, and that's sort of an open invitation, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you don't want to let anything like that in your house. I don't like to hear that. That gives me a kind of a creepy feeling that there's nothing there when you open the door. There was something there. Something knocked on your door, and it wanted to come in, and you're letting it in. So that's not a good idea. And that goes along with these black-eyed kids that you hear about. And to me, they sound downright demonic or vampiric or both. Vampires and demons are the same thing. Basically, they're evil spirits, and that's what they sound like to me. Now, some people think they're aliens, hybrid aliens, human hybrid aliens, and some people think they're interdimensional beings. What's your spin on it, sir?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you got dark eyes and you don't have any iris or pupils or anything, just dark, kind of like William Alien guy up there. Just looks demonic. And you have to be invited in. I mean, so that tells you something that we have.
I've heard a lot of people say it's probably some kids fooling around playing jokes with these lenses in. I just don't see that because, for one, when you put lenses like that in your eyes, you can't see anything hardly. I mean, that would just be kind of hard for a practical joke like that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see children actually putting lenses in their eyes like that to do that. So I kind of ruled it out as being a joke. It may be a very, very, very rare case where there might have been something like that, but I don't think that's what the majority of it is. And here's the real clincher, Geryl. In every single case, almost every single one, you get this one common denominator. You've heard me talk many times about patterns, the patterns that you look for to give you the evidence to understand what you're looking at. And here's one of the very red lines of the pattern that we're talking about. And that's the fact that every case, it seems like every encounter with the black-eyed children, give people a creeping dread, a fear, an unreasonable fear of unknown origin, kind of a fear. You know what I'm saying? They really don't know what they're scared of, but they feel this fear. I mean, very, very emotionally feel it. And to me, that smells, that right there to me is a telltale, red flag I spoke of earlier, that this is demonic in that respect, because that's what the demonic is. It's negative energy, and it dwells and feeds upon negative energy. And what could be more negative than this creeping fear that people talk about this thing? It really creeps them out. I mean, I had one woman tell me, I had a case where this one woman encountered this thing, and she said, I'm a country girl, I ride horses, I take on any man, she's a rough gal. I said, but hey, this scared the crap out of me. That I went home and hid in my house all weekend. Yeah. I was scared to even go to the door. I was scared somebody was going to knock on my. So, when you hear stories like that, Geryl, you got to wonder what is behind something that would cause that much of an emotional reaction in people,
Yeah, the story I have is where a gentleman answered his door, like you said, a knock on the door. You open it up, and there's this little kid or child, with solid black eyes, and he described it as they're dressed in like 40s or 50s clothes, like they lived on the street back in that era. And he said he had a eerie feeling about it, and his dog came running towards the screen door. And as soon as it saw that child, that dog just cowered, ran, and hid. Normally the dog usually, stands guard and barks or until he tells it to stop, But not this time. That dog took off. Then later on, that gentleman got sick. Yeah. He ended up getting, I don't know if it was necessarily cancer, but he got some serious health issues after that encounter with that black-eyed child.
And what I find real interesting is the black-eyed children sightings with the children or with adults in certain places, like in the store, like Walmart or somewhere like that. And people see them, and then they're first struck by the appearance of the adults. They don't act right. They act inhuman. They act robotic in a way. They're very strange. And they've got these kids with them usually. Sometimes they'll be so small they'll be in a stroller, or sometimes they'll just be holding their hand. And then they notice the kids have got the black eyes. They don't really notice the adults that much. And so it makes you wonder: is this some kind of weird family of people? Are they out trying to emulate a family to make people think that's what they are, that they're normal humans, or what are they up to? That's the number one question when it comes to the black-eyed kids. What the heck are they up to?
Obviously no good. I mean, if you got to invite them in, or otherwise they don't come in, and most of the times when they're not invited in, by the time the homeowner or the person turns around and looks back at them, they're gone. That's what makes me think they're not normal kids or pranksters, because they wouldn't be able to disappear that fast.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, that's the main thing. Be careful, and I've always said this: be careful who and what you bring into your home. Your home is your castle, and even evil spirits recognize that, because here's the mystical tie to it, Geryl. Your home, that's not your house you're sitting in right now. Even God knows you own that house. God recognizes you as the authority there, as the owner of it. It's on your land. It's in your house. Unless, of course, you're renting. That's a different story. But if you're leasing, but you still have authority there, even if you're just staying there. That's where you're living. That's where your domicile is. And I find that very interesting. Even the inhuman things in this world recognize that authority. It's a little bit of authority. So that's why I've told this to a lot of people. And like I said, over the years, I've done thousands of location cleansings. And the one thing I always get people to do when they have this kind of a thing going on at their house, whatever kind of paranormal activity, demonic or whatever, I make them go to the center of the house and speak out loud to these things and say, look, I declare right now, this is my property. I have authority here. This is my house. You don't belong here. You've got to leave. I'm telling you to leave because I have that authority. And that affirmation, you would be surprised at how many times that works for the better in the situation, because you're laying down the law to them, and you're saying, hey, I'm not going to take this anymore. And I've had many people, friends of mine and other ones involved in the paranormal, who have had run-ins and things, follow them home and all this stuff. And that's what I tell them. You got to speak up to these things. You have the power. You have the authority to get rid of them, unless it's a very bad infestation or some kind of a bad demonic spirit. You have that little bit of authority there. Even God recognizes that and gives you that authority. So it's a God-given thing. That's why I think they recognize it. So you have that, so don't forget it. Use it when you have to. And I've had people tell me a lot of times, Geryl, say, oh, well, a spirit came through my house last night. And it was bad. It was bad. And I made it leave. You know, that's the thing to do. You got to get out. You don't belong here. This is my house. Get out of here. You know, unfortunately, you can't tell roach bugs that. You can't tell mosquitoes that, and they will listen to you. Unfortunately, they don't. But the demonic does. These spirits will. They really recognize that authority. And did you know though? And I've seen cases. I know this is gonna blow your mind. I have seen cases where you can do location blessings. It will even run the roach bugs out. Yeah, I've seen it happen.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We tell people that all the time, about how powerful they really are. People don't understand, that we're made in the image of our Creator, and we're right there, and in line with the angels. So you have so much authority, you just have to use it. And when it goes to cleansing a house or blessing your house, we always, like you said, you go to the center of the house, whether you're burning sage, and walking through room by room to take care of paranormal or evil stuff that you feel the presence of. But in our mind, me and Chiro will imagine that our whole property, our house, our rooms, outside in our yard, is just having purification and salt coming down, salt purification. And we can just picture in our mind our whole property and everything is just being covered in the general rain of salt to purify everything in our household and out in our property.
Yeah. Well, many times, Geryl, in the past, when I've done investigations and had very bad cases of demonic, happenings, I've actually, when I go to that property, I will find a place a little ways away from it, and I'll draw a salt circle on the ground. It won't be very big, just big enough for maybe a couple of people to get in. I'll draw that circle and bless that, location, cleanse it, and say, okay, this is our little safety place here in case we need to. We don't. I've never, very, very rarely ever had to use it that much. But I say, and I've had people attacked. I've actually had to get people out of that location, away from these things, and that's a good place to put them. The spirits can't follow them through that salt circle because it's a cleansing thing, And salt, when we use that at location cleansings, you'd use it on doorways, you use it in closets. I salt the whole place. Everywhere you can possibly get. It's like pushing cattle out. You got to direct it. You got to herd them out. A lot of times and get them out of that area. These spirits, and you do that for the property as well. There's been many times I've walked property lines and done this with salt. So it works. I've had the blessings on pets, their animals, their dogs, their cats, their birds. I think I did a lizard one time. They had a pet lizard. I mean, you do all of the whole works. You do the people there. That's the part of it. You bless them. You put this cleansing on everything. You have to do everything, and that's why it's a time-consuming thing. And a lot of people don't want to do that. They don't want to go out there to do a few things, sprinkle a little water and leave. It just don't work that well. I've had people come to me and complain about priests doing that. Well, I had a priest come over and he splashed a little water on me and left, but I still got the problem, They didn't do it the proper way, And that's when you deal with something like black-eyed kids. You got to deal with them in a proper manner, or you can run into some bad problems.
Now, Val mentioned just a minute ago that you don't invite them in your car either because that's your domain also. There was a story of a woman that went to the grocery store and left her kid in the car. This is before all this child endangerment stuff, obviously. And when she came back out, minutes later, her boy was in the back seat. And there was a black-eyed child in the back seat with him. The kid obviously invited the kid in because the kid wanted to play or needed a ride or whatever the deal was. And the woman ejected the kid out. She got that eerie feeling and saw the black eyes, and wanted to know why he was with her child. Well, that child also got health problems, got sick right after that incident.
Well, the very first sighting, supposedly modern day sighting of black-eyed kids, was a guy in an automobile in a parking lot. They came up to his car. I think it was in a bank or something, and wanted a ride home. Two of them, and they scared him so bad that he, rolled the window up and peeled out of that parking lot, and it scared him, shook him up. So it's not just your house; it can be wherever you're at. They're wanting permission to actually come into your life. That's basically what I think is going on. Wherever you are, it doesn't matter if you're in a house or a mobile home or an automobile, truck, or whatever. They're wanting that permission for some reason, and it's not a good reason, whatever it may be. Definitely.
Well,
yeah, I've heard that,
the
Lori, about a
black-eyed
welcome
kids.
mat.
Yeah, the black-eyed kids phenomena has been around since the 1950s. I think the first case was actually reported. Yeah. I think the first actual case, though, was reported to law enforcement in 1951. So.
Well, there are stories of them being sighted in the 18th century, 18th and 17th centuries. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I wonder why at that time period they all of a sudden started showing up and being prevalent in all the stories.
You're cutting in and out on us here, Geryl.
I might have bad Wi-Fi.
Your audio. Yeah, it's your audio. The video's fine. It's the audio that's cutting in and out.
Yeah, the audio's cutting out a little bit.
There's some kind of feedback too with it.
I got everything down and off.
You don't have any Bluetooth device on anywhere, do you?
No.
Sometimes that
you have if you have double windows open on your computer, sometimes that'll do it too. With the if you have Facebook up at the same time as YouTube or anything like that, sometimes that'll do it.
All right, we'll try that. I don't have anything else up with StreamYard, and I'm using the same exact device that I always stream with, so I don't know.
You don't have any black-eyed kids around there, do you?
I don't know.
There is kind of a mist coming off of that picture.
Yeah.
That's just me thinking so hard.
That's what it is. Yeah, it's overheating a little bit there.
Fried clams. Get your fried clams. All right. Never a dull moment with us. Okay.
I think the reason why I was going to mention is the reason why a lot of people think the black-eyed kids may be human alien hybrids is the eyes, because the grays have the big solid black eyes, and I think that's one reason why people think that they're part alien, I don't know.
I'm going to jump out, then I'll get back in. See if that's
okay.
Okay. Sometimes, right. I don't know. StreamYard does some weird stuff sometimes.
Well, and it's
maybe since we're talking about demonic entities here, we're probably getting some demonic interference. It always happens too.
Exactly. Well, all right. Let's see here. We're 37 minutes in, so it's too soon for the other giveaway. So I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to see. I'm going to bide my time and strike when the striking's good. So,
all right.
I do want to say good morning to Nana Boss, and also good morning to Karen. Karen Peterson, executive producer. All right. Who has the most adorable little dogs.
I would like a raise, executive producer. Can you put that in the next budgetary meeting? Okay.
Anyways, I don't know if you've all have ever seen her posting the pups on her page, but man, they are the cutest things, you know. So definitely look like big old snuggles, you know, snuggly bears type of dogs. So, but yeah, they're adorable. But if you don't know Karen, you might want to, you know, friend her, send a friend request. Same with Ozzy Sue and everybody, since we're all family here in the chat and we're all weirdo warriors. So the black-eyed kids to me are I don't want to say a supernatural being, but they definitely do seem demonic. Especially in the anger part of them when they don't get their way.
Yeah.
But that also, I also at the same time wonder if maybe they are some type of alien human hybrid type of a program. A lot of the reportings are in the Southwest. We all know that, and Juno can tell you for a fact, because he lives there in Dulce. We all know about Dulce, New Mexico, having that story of the underground dumb facility there, the deep underground military base that goes down below 8 to 10 levels, and then below the 10th or 12th level is completely run by alien races that are basically said to be kidnapping humans and processing them for genetic experiments and hybridization programs. So maybe they are hybrids. Maybe they are just evil, manipulative little. let's put it out there, okay? Little bastard aliens that are, you know, are wanting to cause trouble and create problems for people.
Could they also, though, William, I have to wonder about this. Could they also be involved in the disappearances of people? You know, could they be the trigger for these things to kidnap or abduct people for their experiments, right. or some people say even probably food for some of these entities? You know, I think a lot of it's not just experimentation and DNA. I think some of it may have to do with being us being a food source, whether it be a spiritual food, you know, essence that they live off of, or whether it's actually eating our bodies, whatever the case may be. Could these little son of a guns be the triggers for that? Because they say they get in your house and then you're never seen again. You know.
Yeah.
You know, you have to wonder about that too.
Yeah. The one thing I do hear a lot of though is when people see these things, and I'm going to call them things because we don't really know what they are technically. So when some people see these things and they ask permission to come in or whatnot, a lot of times people will start praying. And it seems like the more they pray or if they think a religious thought, you know, they get angrier, you know, and more forceful.
That's demonic.
So maybe
that's demonic.
Maybe they are our hibernization program for the demonic entity to live within its being. Maybe they need
said all along. I've said that for many years, William. There is a distinct connection. You know, I did several shows on demonology today on this. There is a distinct connection between aliens and the demonic. They're either both the same thing or they're in cahoots with each other, one or the other. There's some kind of connection going on there, you know, and we need to try to establish what those connections are.
Yeah, maybe it's because the aliens or the demons are using their bodies to possess their bodies so they can go freely throughout, the world and cause havoc, but they need to still have permission to access your home or your vehicle or whatever you're inhabiting to make you open up to their susceptibility.
Yeah, that's part of it, probably. I mean, that's it. It falls in line with the folklore and demonology and all these other things. These things seem to follow the rules for that, and that makes me wonder about it, definitely. And like we mentioned earlier, that all-pervading, that creeping fear that comes over people when they're exposed to these, and there's no reason for that fear. There's no human reason for that fear. When you got these little kids standing outside your door, why should you be so afraid? Like that woman I talked about earlier, they went home and hid all weekend. It scared her that bad, that kind of an extreme reaction to these things tells me that this is a spiritual entity that they're dealing with, To me, that's what it feels like.
All right.
Supernatural.
We'll try this. I moved it closer. Is it any better?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's clearer.
Yeah. Well, that's weird at 2 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, that's strange. They've been seeing it all hours of the night, day and night, but mostly dark. In the deep part of the night, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. They're knocking on people's doors. They're approaching people in parking lots of convenience stores at 1 o'clock in the morning. What are real little kids doing up and out? I mean, you would not want your kids out at that time of the night. I mean, if you're any kind of a parent, you definitely wouldn't want your kids running around then. That doesn't sound like normal child type activity to me. That's got some kind of weird something going on in that. And they talk about these children will kind of giggle at you, but it's a maniacal kind of a giggle. It's kind of a weird, downright demonic kind of a laugh. They laugh at you and they play tricks on people. They almost as if they're trying to lure people into places too. Have you heard a lot about that, Geryl?
Well, I heard a story about a lady looking out her window here in Ruckus about 3 a.m. in the morning, and she lives across from a park. And there was all these kids dressed in like we talked about before, period era clothes from the 50s or 40s, and they looked like ragged children on the streets are out there just playing, jostling around, wrestling in the park, and she thought that was very strange. And one of them actually came up to her porch, as she was peering out the window, and she said it had black eyes.
Yeah. It's just almost as if they're like demonic gangs of kids. You know what I'm saying? You hear about that sometimes too. It's like a gang taking that one step more into the diabolical section, kind of thing. Like I say, there's something going on here, and I smell demonic smoke when it comes to these guys. To me, this is not the actual way that children actually act in real life. You know what I'm saying? They don't do these things. Like I say, you don't let your kids out at 3 o'clock in the morning to play in the park. That just doesn't make sense. I mean,
yeah.
What kind of parent would you be if you did that?
Rocky brings up a good point too, though, guys, with the whole dressing thing. You always see these black-eyed kids wearing hardly anything when it comes to cold and wet weather, but yet when it's hot out, they're wearing hoodies.
It's just like, William, what they're wearing is a disguise. It's just like they put it on. It's not like clothes you'd go buy at Walmart for your kids. It's just like they put these clothes on as a disguise. They're trying to look human. And like a lot of these grown-ups that are seen with these black-eyed kids, they're always described as not being as being human. They're trying to act like they're human. It's what I say. The whole thing's almost as if it's some kind of a big trick somebody's trying to play over on people. And for what reason?
Exactly.
Mhm. Well, all through history and through many cultures, there's always been a talk of trickster spirits. They go out of their way to trick people, lure people to their deaths, or drown people, or get them lost in the wood, hopelessly lost in the woods, different ways. These trickster spirits are reported throughout every culture and every time period. I just wonder if this might be a new kind of a spin on trickster spirits.
You got a
I've
question
heard
for you,
that
Dennis?
does work. I've heard that does work, Lori. By the way, it does work. I've heard on several occasions. Rebuking them will drive them away. Yeah. Well, it's possibly if they're emitting some kind of a radiation, that would be what the fear factor is what people are picking up on. There's something like in their nature that exhibits this kind of fearful radiation type stuff or something.
Yeah, maybe that's why the people get sick when they're around them because of the radiation poisoning.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Radiation will cause you to have adverse effects on your body. It will make you sick. It will do other things to you too in the long term. But you gotta wonder, keep going back to this one point. Why do they want to come in to be with you so badly? Why do you need to invite them in? That's an interesting aspect of it all. If they were just alien hybrids and they could do whatever the heck they want, they just bust your door in and come in. You know what I'm saying? They come in gangbusters on you and that'd be it. Why do they need to be invited? Like I say, that's a hallmark of the demonic.
Yep. Every time you got to invite something in, you're giving them permission and giving them authority over your domain and yourself. You got to protect yourself the very most.
That's what I've said many times in the past, Geryl, about the demonic. It has to be let into your life. You're just not walking down the street and bam. I've had people say, "Can I get possessed?" Not wanting to be possessed. I said, "No, it don't work that way. You just don't walk down the street one day and bam, you get possessed for no reason. You have to open the doors. You have to give these entities the opportunity in your life to come in, whichever way it may be. There may be different ways they can come in. Whatever your weakness is, that's how you let them into your life. And that's how possession begins. It doesn't just all of a sudden, bam. No, it's not like the Hollywood movie The Exorcist. All of a sudden, bam, you're possessed. It's a slow process, usually. Maybe there may be rare occasions where it's pretty fast. But usually, most of 90% of the time, it's a very slow process, step by step, slowly. The best way to invade a country, girl, is not throwing all your forces on it at one time. It's very slowly, a little bit, pick at it a little bit at a time till you finally get an opening, and there you go. That's the way you take a fortress, and that's the way people are possessed. So when you're not. These things are up to something other than demonic possession, though. To me, it seems like they're like up to some kind of other nefarious thing, either kidnapping you or destroying you or killing you or whatever the case may be. They're up to something other than just possession or oppression. There's something else going on here.
Right. I'm sorry, Lori. I'm using the same tablet and I don't have an external mic. It's just whatever the tablet's picking up. I don't know what's going on today.
I think it could be StreamYard doing that sometimes. I've had a lot of trouble with my mic, and I've tried different mics, and it's not the mics. I've tried the different mics and all that. It's not in different headsets, and it's not that. I don't know what's going on with it. I can't figure it out, and I've recorded on my own tablet and everything else. It comes out perfectly clear. It's perfectly fine. So it's not I don't know what. I believe it's interference from somewhere else.
Right.
That's just me.
Okay, we are at the almost 1 hour mark, and I'm going to hit everybody up here. So have your thinking caps on. Okay, let me put my camera back on. And let's see here. This is for the Gone Squatchin' bracelet. Okay. And the survival bracelet. Okay. Which actually do appropriately match, color coordinated and everything. Look at that. So,
and what does the survival bracelet do, William?
It does. Got the paracord. It's got the whistle. It's got a compass on it, and it's got a fire starter on it.
Okay, neat.
And let me see here. We are going to go with, here is the question of the day for this giveaway, okay? The first one in the chat that can name 3 things that we have discussed about the black-eyed children, okay? And I'm going to give you one of them, okay? Don't invite them in, okay? What's 2 more things?
Clock's ticking.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how fast people type. It's an easy one. It shouldn't be that hard. Scott got it.
Okay.
Yep, Scott got it. Scott, give me your mailing address on my email. I think you have it already. If not, it's lakotaman333@gmail.com. LAKOTAMAN333@gmail.com. And I will get those out to you, Scott.
What was his answer?
Thank you for playing. Yeah.
What was his answer?
He said evil and demonic.
Mm-hmm. I think William's frozen up now.
Yep.
Well, good job, Scott. Pays to listen.
Yeah, he was having troubles early this morning with his equipment, so I don't know. Maybe my audio is being messed up on his end. I don't know.
Yeah, it's always a glitch like that once in a while. Like I say, StreamYard is not up to the bat on a lot of things like that. I don't know. He's gonna bring down on us. Maybe he'll be back one of these days. Anyway. So folks, that's the one takeaway today from the show. Do not let these little buggers in. And whatever you do, don't invite them in. Be careful who or what you invite in. You see my Ghostbuster thing behind me there, right? Okay. There it is. Don't let them in. Don't cross the streams. No, that's the Ghostbusters. You don't let them in. Don't associate with them. Don't let them in your car. Don't anything. You may be the one that disappears next if you do. You never know. That's the interesting thing, Geryl, about all this. Nobody survives to tell what happened if they let them in, or nobody ever talks very much. Very rarely do you ever hear back on that part of it. What I do know of one instance where a woman supposedly let one in, and it like messed her house up and scared her animals very badly. It was a bad situation. I think the woman had to have an exorcism of the house after it was over. So
I think I need an exorcism of my house. Anyways, I wanted this, as I was saying before I cut out. I wanted to say the second place winner was Val from Southwest PA. So Val, if you could send me your mailing address at my email, that would be appreciated. I'll get that sticker pack out to you as soon as possible. Okay. And Scott, same thing. Make sure you get me your mailing address, brother. All right. And I'll get you the bracelet and stuff out. Okay. And yes, my wife Tracy is correct. I did ask her not to have the TV on this morning, due to the technical problems. But go ahead and put it on. I'm not worried about it anymore because I've already lost speed. I've already lost speed twice, so it doesn't matter now. So I don't know. Something weird is going on today, and it was weird last night. You guys, I don't know if any of you went outside last night, but I did. It must have been about 1:30 in the morning, and it was. I don't even know how to describe it. It was weird. I was hearing birds whistling at 1:30 in the morning.
That's not good. That's not good.
Yeah. And that was the only noise that's the only noise I was hearing. I wasn't hearing the airplanes flying over. I wasn't hearing the traffic on the road. I wasn't hearing any other animals. No wind. I mean, literally no wind. No other sound whatsoever.
Well, according to superstition and folklore, birds singing at night or birds making a noise at night are coming after somebody's soul. That's not a good sign, especially if they're whippoorwills. He weren't whippoorwills, were they?
Yeah, I hear that about crows and ravens.
Okay.
Nothing from the YouTube, huh?
That is strange. YouTube has been messing with us a lot lately, and it's not just us; it's everybody. Everybody is trying to pound out a podcast they're messing with. Okay, so
I think they're tweaking their censorship a little bit. They're trying to tweak out how they want to censor us. I think they're working on that. I think we're an ongoing experiment with them. But what I was going to say about the birds, the whippoorwills supposedly collect the souls of the dead. A lot of people believe that. It's an old superstition. That if you hear whippoorwills at night, not just one, but more than one, they've come after somebody's soul. So it's not a good idea to hear birds singing at night.
Right.
I've heard whippoorwills.
They say that
I was out. Let me tell you a strange experience that happened to me not long ago, and I recorded it. I can play it back for you. I walked out on my porch one night. It's been maybe a couple of years ago, and I heard this whippoorwill, and he was very close. And whippoorwills for a long time they died out. You didn't hear many of them, very often unless you were way out in the deep woods somewhere. But this is in my house, right? And I hear this whippoorwill, and it's a big holly bush next door to where I'm at. I mean, it's huge. It's the holly tree. It's not a bush, actually. And I hear this bird. I hear this whippoorwill. I took my phone out and recorded him. I'll play it for you sometime. But out in the night, about 3 o'clock in the morning, and you hearing this is an eerie sound, knowing that they're connected to so much folklore. It's weird.
Well, there's an old legend about Bigfoot being around, and he whistles at night to lure you out, so he can basically take you and grab you and run away with you. He lures people out that way, because also if you reply with a whistle, it makes them very angry. So and I don't believe I don't believe it is the human-looking Bigfoot, like the Neanderthal. I think it's the other Bigfoot that does this. Because
the Raven
they have
has that same attribute. The Raven Mocker does a lot of that
exactly,
too.
Exactly. So, and who knows? I mean, it was a really weird night last night. So it was very, very, like I said, very, very quiet, except for that, and the other animals weren't around. Because my wife feeds the feral cats around here and stuff, and they come around and they eat, late at night and stuff. And sometimes they'll hang around the house and stuff, and all that, or rest within our screen porch. And they weren't around. They weren't around at all. So there was no other sign of life around at all outside.
Very eerie night. Very eerie experience.
All righty. So.
Well, I don't know what you're live chat. We're picking you up, and this is a live chat, so I don't know. There are people. I'll try to find out who it is. Raven Creek Charm. There's a guy they say he's an absolute genius at this. You can contact him, and it's free. He doesn't charge you anything. He takes care of problems like that. I'll see if I can find out who he is and give you his email address or whatever, and you can contact him. They say he can help. He's helped out a lot of people. They say he's a genius at this stuff. He might could tackle your problem and see what's going on. I'll see if I can track him down. I've heard people mention him a lot.
I have, and it says on our site on YouTube that there's nobody blocked. So I don't understand that, unless she was completely taken and hidden, and I don't know how that's even possible.
Don't make sense, does it? That's what I say. I have a weird sneaking feeling that I think we're being experimented on. I think people are trying to figure out how they can impede us and do these things to us. It just makes you wonder.
Yeah. Oh, wow. All right. An hour and 5 minutes in. All right. And we've given away, and remember, I want to remind Scott to email me his address, and Val, email me lakotaman333@gmail.com. Okay. That way I can get those prizes up. So, and that's it for what I'm giving away today until tomorrow, which you guys better not leave the chat. Oh, man.
We might give free advice out tomorrow. What do you think, William?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what we do every day, isn't it?
Yeah. But we'll advertise it as free this time. Okay.
Unsolicited.
Yeah. Anyways, getting back to the subject, the black-eyed kids. I mean, to me, that's just fascinating because, when you think about the possible connections to alien and the alien and demonic connection being possibly the two of the same, you know what I mean? That's fascinating to me because you hear of the ancient history with a lot of the just put it out there with ancient aliens. You hear them talking a lot about ancient visitors.
William, look at the experiences that John Keel had. John Keel, who's one of my favorite all-time paranormal people. I would love to have met the guy. I went to where he's been. I've read every book he's written. John Keel believed without a doubt that the UFO and the demonic were definitely connected. The UFO stuff and the aliens or whatever. And he had reason to believe that, and I go along with him on that too. But there's been a hypothesis on that since the 1960s about that. But look at the weird stuff that John Keel went through with the Mothman prophecies and all that. It was one of my favorite movies, by the way. They did an excellent job on the movie. But that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go to West Virginia. I wanted to go where this stuff happened at, and see for myself. But to me, it was some very freaky stuff, and he couldn't understand it either. So why is it so weird and off the wall kind of stuff? It follows no reasoning. It follows no actual pattern to it. It's very unreasonable in that respect,
Right.
and that is strange. That's the strange part about it. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But he believed that there was a definite connection with the aliens and the demonic. And I believe I go along with him. What I've seen, the evidence that I have seen over the years, leads me to that conclusion. There is a demonic element there, and that's why I keep telling people. And I've had people accuse me. They get mad at me. People badmouth me. Oh, Dennis, that's all you are about just demons. No, but I mean that factor's there, and you can't ignore it, people. It is real. It's there, and it's in a big part of this. All roads lead back to these things. You got to follow the roads back, and that's where they lead to. And to me, to ignore that would be like saying, "Oh well, I'll go out in the woods and if I find big footprints, I'm going to ignore that because he doesn't leave footprints." That's just stupid. People, they overlook the things that are so obvious. But that's what's going on here,
Yeah.
That's very good, Raven Creek. Your faith will be your shield. Is your faith in your Creator. A higher power than you is your shield. Your armor of God that we talk about. That's important. Very, 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 very important. Can't stress it enough.
I mean, you put like a hoodie on. Well, here I'm going to show you something here that just kind of, I was looking at it. Here, I'll show you this one. I was looking at it, and you put a hoodie on that and cover its face. You've got a black-eyed kid.
Well, let me tell you something, William. Let me tell you something freaky, okay? This guy had an encounter with a black-eyed kid, okay? And they never got off of his front porch. But he said he found later on the doorknob outside the next day, he found putty on it. And he took a sample. It was just a little bit of putty on the doorknob. Putty, like putty you work with or something. And he took it to a guy, and he said, he was a construction guy or something, And the guy said, "I never seen. We don't use any kind of putty like that or nothing." He said, "The only time I've ever seen that kind of putty is a mortician's putty." So you put two and two together. Think about this a minute. Was the kid looking human because he had mortician makeup on?
True. True.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I just something just tells me that you look at this and then you look at put like a hoodie on it, and like you said the tan colored skin makeup, you've got a black-eyed kid. You literally have a black-eyed kid right there. So I just don't understand. I just don't. It's too eerily similar to what's described. So.
Well, there's a lot of, weird stuff going on out there. Like I've said before, I hate to repeat myself, but I'm old. I get the chance to do that anyway. There are things out there walking around, people, that are not human. They look human, but they're not human. Okay? Now, trust me, I've seen this with my own eyes, and I think we've all experienced that to a certain degree. They're not human. Although they're trying to pull that off. They're trying to pull the wool over our eyes and make us think that's what they are, but they're doing a very bad job at it. But there are other things out there walking around that used to be human and are no longer human too. Okay, so that's what you're dealing with out there. You may brush shoulders with angels, and you may shake hands with demons. You never know what you're dealing with out there, and stuff like this, like the black-eyed kids, the men in black, all these different things. And we call them the non-humans. I guess that's the name you call these weird people that you see at Walmart that don't look human. That they're
Right.
something else. All of this is tied together by common factor. Definitely, got to be. I've heard of that book. I don't think I've got a very extensive paranormal library. I'm not just saying this. I have one of the biggest ones in the southeast, and I don't think I have that volume in there. I have to look. I can't remember them all. I have so many of them. I have thousands and thousands of volumes of paranormal books. I've even got some on Marilyn Monroe's death. I have stuff on the JFK conspiracy. I have all kinds of that stuff. That's why I wish all you guys could live next door to me and you could borrow my books whenever you wanted to. I'd give you a book to read every week. Here you go, Geryl. You need to read this one. Okay.
Yeah, I do a lot of reading.
I agree with Ozzy Sue here on her statement. Everybody needs to be kept informed on a lot of these cryptids and the evil demonic entities. So
forewarned is forearmed, as the old saying goes. Yeah, forewarned is forearmed.
There is some kind of connection. There is some kind of connection between what we see as a cryptid or a questionable entity and the demonic. There's some kind of connection there that they're manipulating it so much. It's like we talked about previously on other podcasts too, Dennis. The whole
we could be looking at a prospect. We could be looking at the prospect of an unholy alliance between some of these things.
When you die, do you lose the color in your eyes?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Well, black eyes have always been kind of connected to the evil. Just like the red eyes, black eyes are too. It's not a normal. Like I said before, I've actually seen people demonically possessed, and their eyes would turn completely black. Now, not the white iris part I'm talking about, but just the white, the cornea. I've seen them go completely black, and that tells you that the darkness inside that person is showing outward. And I would not feel good dealing with a black-eyed entity of any kind.
Yeah, I've seen eyes of people that were dying turn grayish. So that's probably not that far different from turning gray. The next step would be black.
Well, I just wonder if they're actually, taken over, possessed, or if they lose their soul, or if they're, if they actually like the undead, if their eyes would turn black because of that.
I would say it's probably. I would say that it's probably more showing. I would say that it's probably more of a losing their soul type of a thing, is what I would say. So.
But now that's the big difference between the black-eyed kids. The eyes are all completely black. People that are demonically possessed, you still got a little bit of the white showing, unless the eyes go back in the head and they turn all white that way. I've seen that happen. But now the actual pupils dilate. That's what I'm talking about, to the point where they open all the way up and your whole eye's black. but not the white. Not the white does that. I've never seen that. I've seen them get bloody looking and be dark red like. And if you were looking real close, it would appear to be dark black. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In that respect.
Lori Googled it.
There's a reason why. You remember the old Dodgers would always come in and look at your eyes. There's a reason. Because a lot of your health shows in your eyes. You know, there can be a lot of different things going on with that. And like William and I have always said in the past too, many times the eyes are the windows of the soul. If you look in those windows, you can see what's going on. A lot of times, you know.
Yep, exactly. Yep. What's that old thing they used to do back in the day? Knock on the door, check the window, open the door.
So Lori Googled it and said to your eyes, don't change color, but they get hazy.
Well, if they don't change color, they might be sort of what I've always said, transcending. You might be caught between two things going on. I've heard of people with eyes being gray, like in that respect. It's almost as if they're in the middle of transferring some kind of energy or something. You know, you never know, but. There's so many instances. I think a lot of times that we see things in the middle of transforming whatever they are. You know, I think a lot of times. I think that's one of the things the Glimmer Man does that we've talked about so much. I think he may be actually, you know, a transmission from one reality to another, and he may look that way while he's doing it. You know what I'm saying? You got so many different aspects of this to look at. Like I said, the paranormal's a diamond. You don't see all of it at once. You got to turn it and look at it many different ways because it has many different facets. Walk-ins would be a lot of times, I think, a lot of fun. And I think a lot of these shadow people that people see are not demonic. They could actually be walk-ins, I call it. Yeah, they could actually be passing through. That's like I was talking about the stuff going on with Geryl's house. It could possibly be past spirits that are passing through, and you catch a glimpse of them every once in a while. I think the spiritual realm around us, if we could really see what was going on, it would really freak us out. You know, if we could really see what was going on around us, we would see demons, angels, and all kinds of spirits. There's no telling what we would see. I'd be interested to see what it would. But we may catch a glimpse of these every once in a while. And here's what makes me wonder about the walk-ins. There are different types of shadow people. Okay, there's the Hat Man, who is very malevolent. I think he's very demonic. He attacks people. He tries to choke them to death. That's not good, you know. And then you have shadow people that are like actually entities. I think Jessica, the Cryptid Huntress, had one. She sent me a thing on it. You know, this capture of a shadow guy that gets up out of a chair and walks off. He actually reacts to somebody speaking to him or getting close to him. I've actually seen shadow people like that. And here's the interesting thing about this kind of shadow people. The darkness that makes them shadow is just like it has no end. It's a weird kind of a darkness. It's not a natural darkness like you would see at night or the shadow cast by somebody. This is completely different. It's like this is a void that you're looking into, shaped like somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. It's kind of hard to explain. And then there are other shadow people that are two-dimensional. They are like the shadows that are cast by people. I believe those are walk-ins, per se. The demonic takes on many times the attributes of shadow beings. Oh yeah, just to freak people out. That's another one of their images they like. But you and sometimes, and I think William can attest to this, you can catch these things out of the corner of the eye, you know, and they're spiritual energy. They're not just shadow appearing people. They can be like a mist. They can be a fog. It can be like globes of light. or like William described them, like they can have a little tail-like or like a trail that they leave behind them when they move. That's spiritual energy. And I've seen it with my own eyes happen many times. This was just real as you and I are.
Yeah, I'll catch shadows every once in a while in the corner of my eyes. My peripheral vision is really good. I can usually see somebody walking up from behind at a pretty far behind me. And I'll see
Yeah.
that shadow like
Yeah.
somebody's there, and I'll turn and nobody will be there.
I think a lot of times, I think it's the way light is diffused, Geryl. Light diffuses the way it does, and we see through a light spectrum. We don't see as much as animals do, definitely. We're very incapacitated as humans in that respect. We don't see. I think sometimes though, the way we look through light, like a rainbow or something in the sky, you see a different perspective if you're at a different angle. I'm gonna tell you what happened to me right quick one time. I was in an investigation looking down a hallway. It was dark down the hallway, and I had a camera pointed down that way. I had laser beams going down there. Lasers that you could see actual shadows moving in. And I'm sitting there that night looking down this hallway, and I can see something moving around down the end of the hallway. Every now and then, it's almost like something peeps out of the doorway and looks at me like that and goes back, kind of a thing. And I'm looking at it, I said, now I'm just probably seeing that. That's my mind playing tricks on me. And then it occurred to me, and I used this ever since then. And you learn these things as you go along. I changed my perspective. In other words, I changed my position and kept looking, but I changed my position, and that told me a different story. I was seeing something looking at it. It wasn't my eyes doing that. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I was actually seeing something very much like a shadow person. But you got to change your perspective a lot of times. That's the way your eye and your brain perceives stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to explain, but it probably got some kind of scientific basis to it. But I think that's the way our eyes react to the light spectrum.
Yeah, I watch
A
I
lot of
watch those
times.
videos all the time, caught on camera, paranormal, whatever. And you always see those shadow people or something you think peeking around the corner of a door or a room, and then the person reacts to it, then they're gone.
Oh yeah. Well, the Native Americans talk about the tree peepers. You know, always peeping around trees at people and stuff. That's a very prevalent, well-known thing. And another thing, here's the thing about cameras. Okay, we got to remember this: cameras, although they can help you, they can also hinder you a lot too. Okay, because they're not like the human eye, but yet they can't lie in some respects. It's the human eye can fool you. I see these people riding around through the woods. Say, "Oh, there's a Bigfoot back over there. I'll see him." And it's pareidolia, people. Okay, you're just seeing shapes where there's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Uh, yeah, that's a good question. Where do they come from? But people are falling victim to pareidolia. They want to see something, and their mind is cooperating with them. To that
I
respect.
I'd like to get a pair of those Google glasses and see if you can adjust it to change the what we're seeing. See if we can get to a different hertz or different color pattern to see if we can see the pierce the veil a little bit. You should be able to change it.
Yeah.
You think technology would let you be able to see better?
When these children walk up to your car doorstep, they will try to suggest one of the following things. They would like to call someone on your phone. They would like you to let them in and even use. That's all a ploy. That's all part of the trick. They don't want to use your phone. I never heard of a black-eyed kid using the phone. Uh, that's all part of the ploy, just to get you to open the door and let them in. That's true.
Rocky's been time stamping all our videos to see what's going on behind me.
Yeah. But that's why I tell people during an investigation, take video and pictures as much as possible, because you never know what you're going to catch. I've actually, I had somebody accuse me of this one time. I was going around taking pictures of all the team members, So what we're doing, is this publicity or what? I say, no, there could be something around you, you know? There could be something following you. You never know what you're going to. So take all the pictures you can. You never know. It's like fishing, The more lines you got in the water, the more fish you might catch, you know? I'll tell you this thing about the black-eyed kids. The one thing that really stands out to me is, like I said, that demonic smoke to them. They got that demonic smell to them, to me. But the one thing that has pattern to it all is that wanting to be invited in. That tells me the story right there. I just don't see an alien coming to my door and saying, okay, can I come in your house and use your phone? I just don't see an alien taking that tack and that course. This sounds downright nefarious. Not only dangerous and dark, but diabolical is the word I want to use for it. I wouldn't let them in my house. No way, Jose.
So what's the smell like? Is it a sulfur smell? What kind of smell are you talking about?
Well, there is that smell to them, but I'm talking about more or less a theoretical kind of a smell. But there have been reported smells of sulfur about them. I know one woman said that she went out on the porch after they left, and she caught a whiff of that brimstone. Guy about peakers, yeah. I think, people, we may be very interesting to people of other dimensions, It's a possibility they might find this very interesting to watch.
Yeah, I'd say we're definitely.
Let's go look at Geryl a while. See what he's doing.
Be like watching a Jerry Springer show for us. That's what they're doing.
Yeah. Seriously, I mean,
boring, and things are pretty boring in the other dimension. They got to come watch us,
Well, think about it though. We're the dumbest animals on this planet. So what's that make us for the rest of the universe?
Yeah. Maybe we're stars in an interdimensional TV show. We don't even know it. There you go. That's true. Cameras can catch. The cameras don't lie, but they can fool you, okay? Because the human mind's behind that, okay? But usually a camera just tells you what it saw, but it's very limited too in many respects, unless you're using different types of cameras and infrared and stuff like that. They can fool you too, so you got to be very careful. And that's why we've always said many times you can't verify any kind of photograph or any kind of video unless I was actually there and I was the one that took it. I can tell you that, But with all this AI and all this stuff they got now, you can't trust anything anymore that way.
The two best things that I have found that are cheap enough that anybody can afford to verify if something is actually there, whether it is supernatural or whether it is physical, is an ultraviolet flashlight and a laser pointer.
Yeah. Here's another thing. You remember that fad they had not long ago where they could take a flashlight and get it to just barely where it would come on, you know what I'm talking about, and lay it down, have a spirit touch. I debunk that, okay? That is nothing but vibration of the table or something. That's all that is. You can't go. And a lot of these instruments that people rely on, like these radios, that they fix them so they'll scan and all this through a spectrum and all that. You come out with gibberish sometimes. You come out with one word maybe, and you build a case on one word. It just does not hold up in this kind of stuff. Okay, people. Well, we want a rock solid evidence here, not supposition, not pareidolia, not supposition, not your opinion. What we want is the truth of the matter. What's really going on? And you don't go about it the wrong way. That really makes me angry. I've seen it happen so many times. People out there wasting my time and their time too doing this bunch of junk. That's not real investigation. I'm sorry. you're in some kind of social club or something. That's not real investigation. I'm not gonna fool with that.
Yeah.
It helps taking photos in bursts of 3 too, because a lot of times you won't capture something in the first one, but the middle one you will, and the end one maybe you won't either.
Here's the one telltale thing, Geryl. You don't see the very beginning of that film clip, and you don't see the end of it. I want to see the whole thing. Okay, if the spaceship appears, I want to see it when it appears on the film, and does whatever it does, and then disappears. I want to see the whole film. You don't give me one little clip of it. I can't tell you anything about it. That one little clip is taken completely out of context.
That's what a lot of these TV shows do. A lot of these TV shows on television nowadays do that. They show you this little clip and expect you to believe whatever they say. And you're sorry, I'm not going to take some executive, assistant's word for it that have really investigated the paranormal or the UFO phenomena. And where do they get these people? Where do they get these people that they interview to verify the film? Because I've never heard of them.
All the videos on our YouTube channel.
I could take clips of this show and take out what I wanted and make us say anything I wanted us to say. You know what I'm saying? You can manipulate a clip like that too.
Falafel's here. Good to see him again. All right, let's see here. Yeah, animals can see things that we can't. That is true. Animals can hear better than we can. That is true. Take for instance Jacob. My wife's little dog. Our little son. His ears are like a radar antenna for him. He hears things long before any human could hear it. It's amazing the ability.
I wish I could hear and see as good as dogs and cats. I wish I could hear and see as good as they can.
So they definitely. I've often said, that we only see 440 to 770 terahertz. So that on the spectrum, on the visual spectrum, is literally nothing. That's like a quarter of an inch on a scale of a 3-foot ruler. So it's like it's literally nothing.
Here's another thing. Another thing about animals, William, like dogs and cats, they do not actually understand what we are saying. They don't understand what the words are, but they feel, they sense what we are trying to say to them. Okay, animals that hypersensitive that they can actually pick up on what you're trying to communicate without even understanding your words. That's amazing. Think about it. That's very super sensitive stuff there.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I wish we had the spectrum and the range to see stuff like that. I mean, it'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, even if we actually took a full spectrum camera out in the field, like a lot of people use for the spirit research and the ghost research and investigations, the full spectrum camera. I told DA this and several others previously that I've talked to, that when they have something that they question and that they want to verify, they might want to get themselves a full spectrum camera, because you're going to see a lot more than what you would normally see with a regular camera, first off, and your eyesight. So you're triple checking yourself.
Yeah. Here's another thing, William, and I've told this to a lot of people, during ghost investigations and stuff. When you do EVPs, audio is the same way. You do EVPs, you ask a question, and you just walk away. You didn't get your answer. How do you know what time that they're on? You need to stand there a while and see if you get an answer. Don't just walk off. Don't just say, okay, I didn't answer and leave. You got to give them a while. They may not be on the same time that you are. You know what I'm saying? There may be a lag here or something. So I always tell people, give it a while. Be patient. Don't be so impatient. You got to be patient with these things. And the same thing is with taking a picture. I like frames. That's like I said earlier. You're taking more than one picture. They call me two click dentist. Okay, I always go click click. I just do that every time I take a picture. Click click. I get it twice just in case because you can miss some things on that first click there. You know what I'm saying? That you might want to pick up. Take as many pictures as possible. Take as much video, take as much audio, because you never know what you're going to catch. But it may not do it on your time. It may do it on their time.
I know on paranormal adventures and stuff, people have told me that when they record their audio, a lot of times it's not the one that they are holding that picks up the audio, but the one that they just have sitting over on a table in the room or something that they don't touch.
Yeah, that's true. That's the same thing with Bigfoot research and Dogman research or cryptid research, whatever you're looking for. You got to try to think about. I've said this before, and I've done this many times out in the woods. I'll be going along, and I will backtrack, and then sit down somewhere and watch to see if something wasn't following me. You know, and you'd be surprised sometimes at what you might see. People take things for granted. We box ourselves in when we shouldn't. We put ourselves in a box when we should not do that. We should keep our minds as open as possible to all realities and ramifications of things going on around us, you know? We're already limited. Why should we limit ourselves even more? That's the problem, you know?
Yeah.
But there's been many times I've been going through the woods. You listen, there's something walking behind you. You can hear it somewhere back there. Why would you keep walking? I would want to try to get into somewhere and see what it was. You know, if you start back towards it, it will move away from you. That's not the way to do it. You got to kind of go off the side of the trail and watch for it as quietly as possible. You know, you got to be very careful how you approach these things. That's why I wrote that book, Beyond the Shadows, to teach you how to do certain investigations, how you treat certain things. When I come upon an investigation, I look at it as like a crime scene. You know what? Here's what I say: when I walk in that room or in that spot or wherever I'm at, I'm gonna say, "Go ahead and talk to me. Tell me something here, okay? I want to know what's going on here, and I want to see what's going on to it." I know that sounds crazy, but that's the way I approach it. You know, and to me, that's the best way to do it because you learn more, you get more information out of it that way. But if you go through blundering around, moving everything, you've already screwed yourself up. You know. Sherlock Holmes was very good about that. He would go in there and he would get on the floor with a magnifying glass and go over the carpet. That's the way you got to do it. You know, you might miss something. I remember there was one thing in the where he got a piece of cigar ash and he put it on his knife blade. And one said, "Why are you fooling around with that for?" And he looks up and said, "This whole case may hinge on what this cigar ash is." I mean, that's just the way it goes. You can't skip over anything. I'm sorry. You know, people miss a lot because they get impatient and they want it right then. You know, that's just the way it's human, being human, I know, but still, you got to try to overcome that.
Yep, everything's evidence. So you'd be surprised how little things will lead you in the right direction or actually steer you away. You know, you might be concentrating on the wrong thing.
Yeah. And here's another thing. This is what you found. Now let's see what you missed. That's my second. What did I miss? You know, that's what you got to be looking for. That's what I found. That's good. Okay, let's catalog it, but let's find out what we didn't find. Here, let's go look for that. That's a lot of times, like I said, about the government. They tell you certain things they want. Well, what are they not telling us? That's what I'm more interested in. What are they not telling us? And that's what it goes. What did I not find here? You know, keep looking. You know. Till you're satisfied anyway. And you know, Geryl, what really gets me, people trip themselves up. They go in believing something, Oh, I believe this is a UFO, or I believe this is an alien. I believe this is that, and this and that. Don't do that. Don't come in when your opinion gets in the way. It's like a barrier. It keeps you from actually seeing what's going on. Put that opinion aside and let it, like I said, let it talk to you. Let it communicate to you what's going on here. Don't let that opinion get in your way. It blinds you.
Right.
Many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you go into an investigation or you're looking at something and you have your blinders on, you're missing all that whole perspective out here. And like you said, your mind will lead you to wherever you want to go. I mean, if you're thinking, okay, I'm going to see a paranormal experience, or I'm going to see Bigfoot in the bushes when I take that picture, well, your mind's going to create that for you. If that's all you're in, you got to have an open mind and be wide open to everything.
Here's what I've always told my people. I've mentored a lot of people over the years with this investigation. First, you must prove what it isn't before you can prove what it is. You got to eliminate the possibilities first, and then say, well, maybe it is this, and it's not these other things. That's the way you got to go about it.
Yep, there's a lot of stuff out there. You just got to be vigilant and take your time and look at everything.
Yep. That's what investigation is all about. True investigation. Like I said, a lot of these paranormal groups are just social clubs. Okay, they go out and say, "Oh, we all got scared last Saturday night. Boy, it was fun." And that's all it's about. Is the gratification. It's not out to helping people. It's not finding knowledge on something. It's not, it's not being helpful in any way, but being gratified. That's not real investigation. That's not real research. Okay, that's just having fun on Saturday night and scaring each other. Big deal. And go to a horror movie. Okay, that's what you want to do. But
go to a haunted house.
That's not. I'm not gonna get involved in that. That's wasting my time. I'm not gonna mess with that. That's ridiculous. That's a social club. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And they're not helping anybody. They're not furthering the science. They're not trying to do anything. I want to tell you something about paranormal research, Geryl. We are on at the beginning, at the birth of a science. One day, I think paranormal investigation will be a science. It may not be in our lifetime, but we are at the beginning of that. And if you don't take that seriously and look at it the right way, you're just wasting everybody's time and resources, on a foolish expedition.
Well, maybe AI will come in handy and they'll be able to actually enhance videos or explain videos to us or pictures and see what we can and what we actually can't. Because you could program AI to be impartial to that stuff, like where the human mind interjects what it wants.
AI would be a wonderful thing, Geryl. It'd be absolutely a wonderful thing for mankind if it's handled the right way. But I don't see it being handled the right way.
Not right now.
I don't have that much faith in humanity. I just don't see it. I mean, it's a wonderful tool. Like a hammer's a wonderful tool to build a house with, but you can kill somebody with it too. By the way, a lot of people's been killed with hammers. By the way, but it depends on how you use it. That's what I said. That's what I was talking about last night on the show about guns. Everybody blames the gun. The gun is nothing. It's an inanimate object. It's the brains behind it. That's who the blame. Don't blame the gun.
Right.
Just blame the person to use the gun. They've done something wrong, And that's what's wrong with our society. There used to be a poem. I wish I had the whole poem. I could read it for you. It's really neat. It was called An Ambulance Down in the Valley. And what it was, that this town had a problem with people falling off of this cliff. The people would be walking along and they fall off this cliff down into the valley and get killed. And half of the town said, "Oh, we need to buy an ambulance to go down in the valley, pick these people up when they fall, save them if we can." And the other half of the town said, no, we need to put a fence around the cliff to keep people from falling off the cliffs. And then you won't need an ambulance down in the valley. And that's what our society is today. We got so many stupid people that want that ambulance down in the valley. And the really smart people want to put a fence around the cliff, to prevent that from happening. I'd rather be with the guys who want the fence, okay? The ambulance down the valley is not going to help anybody. They're all dying to get to the ambulance. So I want to be on the right end of the deal, and people can't see that sometimes. Though they can't see how stupid their approach is on this stuff. It's really funny,
Yep.
How we doing, Overbuilt? Yeah, you busted me. I was hiding. I was hiding in the shadows.
You never know. You never know.
When nature calls, nature calls. Sorry, guys.
You never know. You got to answer the call of nature.
Okay.
Well, Jesus was a sort of started the instigator of a rebellion. Definitely, he changed the world. Raven, certainly did. And read your mind. Well, there have been instances where they supposedly almost hypnotize people, I've heard about that a lot too. That's why I've always said, William and I both have said, Geryl too, you don't look these things in the eye, okay? Don't do that, people. You form a contact thing, and you can fall under their power pretty easy that way. Don't do that. And I think that's what happened in a lot of instances. They look these things in the eye when they shouldn't have,
The other thing is they have to be attracted to certain people or for certain instances, because you don't hear about like kids will go and knock on everybody's door right down the block, that you don't hear that with the black-eyed children. They don't show up to your neighbor's house right after they've been to yours or the one across the street. They just go to one particular person at that time.
I think it's almost like I agree with you. I think it's like they're singling out somebody. And I would like to see statistics on the fact that these people may have some kind of problem, a spiritual, mental, emotional thing going on with them, family problems or whatever.
What about this theory, guys? What about this theory? What about the possibility, like when we depart, when we leave our body, they say that there's a good part of our soul and a bad part of our soul. Okay, that leaves our body. Okay, and the good part of our soul goes to heaven, and the bad part of our soul does whatever it does. Okay, what if these things are the bad part of people's souls?
Well, it's a possibility. And what you're talking about is the twin reality thing, which I never was a believer in too much. I believe you're one soul and not two. But there is a possibility that these things could possibly be malevolent spirits of people who have passed on that are trying to do things to you, maybe to entrap you or snare you into doing something. It's a possibility you could be looking at some type of, and therefore, again, they would be evil spirits. They may not be demonic, you understand what I'm saying? But they would be called evil spirits, like the tricksters we mentioned earlier. Tricksters are not nice guys, okay? They are not nice guys. And a lot of times they are out to what? Destroy people, And maybe that's what these things are. They're sort of like these evil trickster spirits, But as for being part of, I do not see human souls dividing into good and evil in that respect. I see the soul remaining whole, and whichever way it goes. Like that story you told about the wolves, the two wolves. There is the bad side of us and the good side of us. There's that balance. There is a balance. They call the yin yang thing. Okay, there's the balance between the good and the evil. But what happens when the evil overwhelms the good in you? Then you become what I call a lost soul. that the darkness takes over the light. There's the light and the darkness, that balance. I think we're all made that way. The light and the darkness is in us. We have that inherent in us. But sometimes when that darkness overtakes that light, whether through outside forces of the demonic or whether that person just wants it to be that way, sells their soul voluntarily, you might say, and over into the darkness, they become a lost soul. They can no longer see the light. They can no longer walk in the light. The Bible talks about us being children of light. You know, they can no longer dwell in the light. They are full of darkness. And like that darkness we talk, maybe some of these people are lost souls that you're talking about here. And they may be dead too, for all we know. They may not be living souls anymore. They may be dead. They may be out there walking around trying to get people in the same situation they're in. That's a possibility. You're dealing with these kind of entities. You're still dealing with supernatural things, though, definitely. But that's a possibility too.
My whole premise of that, though, is someplace for the bad, opposite of the good, the yin and the yang, the light and the dark. For the dark to go, maybe these entities are attracted to that negative energy coming from us.
Well, that may be part of it too. Yeah.
Almost like a supernatural radar.
Well, we do know that the vampire is attracted to you for your life essence, to feed off of you. And it could be these things are feeding off of that as well. They could be feeding off of these people as well. If you've got a little more darkness in you than light, they may be attracted to that because they are the darkness. You see what I'm saying? Like a magnet, they attracted to you for that purpose. If you've got something bad going on in your life, this swinging you over to the darkness a little more than the good. In other words, you've got more darkness in your life than light. These things may seek you out, and to feed off of you or something like that.
Yeah, that was kind of why I asked if your eyes go dark when you die. Because I was kind of thinking the same thing. If you lose your soul, then maybe they come in and try to take over.
That's one way we used to tell when somebody had deceased for sure. And I have actually been in certain situations where we come upon a dead body. You look at the eyes, and most of the time, especially if they were blue-eyed people, their eyes will be black, and their eyes will shrink in dilation. You can tell by looking at somebody's eyes whether they truly are dead or not. That's true. I'm blue-eyed, and when I die, my eyes will turn black. That's just the way that goes. So you can tell that definitely if somebody's dead, for sure, without not the breathing part of the movement. But I mean, just by looking at the eyes, you could tell. It could be these things. I agree with you, Lynn. It could be these things, these black-eyed kids, could be attracted to the darkness in people, too. And like I say, if you've got something traumatic going on in your life, you got family problems, you got a health problem, or whatever the case, and you're being kind of going under with this stuff, these things might show up to really sweeten the pot. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I think I was misinterpreted. I didn't mean your soul. You had two souls in your body. Okay. So.
Yeah, it could be just the aspect of how you are and how you're living your life. There's always good and bad. And if you're starting to go do horrible things, or or your life's going bad, just like Dennis said, who knows? That might attract them.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, there are people definitely out there walking around that are lost souls Those are the most dangerous human beings on this planet, by the way. They've got nothing to lose. They don't care. They'd kill you and think no more about it than changing a pair of socks or whatever. They didn't bother them a bit. I mean, that's like I said on a show not long ago. If you give me a choice to swim with the sharks or swim with demons, I'll take the sharks. At least you know where you're staying with them. You know what they're gonna do. You know, uh, some of these things are way out there with that stuff. Definitely.
Hey,
But these
Dennis,
people, I mean, that's what makes good serial killers. You know, they got no feeling for you. They got no empathy. They don't look upon you as another human being. Well, I do one, Joey, every Sunday night at 9 o'clock p.m. It's called Demonology Today on YouTube with Grizzly Chris, and he really is Grizzly Chris.
Yep.
And he's got a beard that most men would really admire. But anyway, to make a long story short, a lot of these things probably are out looking for lost souls to connect up with that way too. You never know. But those lost souls are the most dangerous human beings walking this planet. They got nothing to lose. They don't care, and they don't have any emotion for you. They don't have any feeling for you or any mercy. They don't even know what that word is.
Yeah.
We personally think our souls can either return to our Creator or we can't. Well, the soul is eternal. All she says, the soul is eternal. It does not die. It is a spiritual energy that exists forever, as Einstein talked about. God would be a true murderer if he destroyed your soul. He's not going to do that. That's against him being a God. Your Creator's not going to do that. Your meat jacket. This is just a temporary thing here. Okay. No matter how long you live, whether it's 100 or 500 years, it's going to be that way.
There's another one for you.
Got it. We need to get some. I need to get a bill printed up for this.
You should do it on our channels. Do it on our platform.
I need a background with that on there.
I'll make
but anyway, but that's the thing. I've studied a lot about serial killers. I've always been interested in crime. What makes people do the things they do?
He's ignoring you.
No.
Here's the thing about it. I'm gonna go out and kill 20 people because I didn't get a pony when I was a kid. Okay. That's the way some people look at this stuff. Truly, I didn't get what I wanted, and now everybody's gonna pay for it. Here's another thing that bothers me, and I was talking about some of this. This is a little current event. You know the lady that went in the Christian school and shot up, or whatever you want to call her, here, yet, or whatever. They shot up the Christian school. Why are they not releasing her manifesto? Why are they being so? What are they covering up here? I'm getting a Kolchak feeling on this. Okay, guys, what are they covering up with this? Why are they holding that manifesto back? I don't trust the FBI anymore. Anyway, what's going on with that?
Federal Bureau of Intimidation.
Yeah. There's a lot. That's what I said earlier. What are they not telling us? That's what I'm more interested in.
Right. Well, we've been going 2 hours.
Wow. Okay.
Well, that's like I said before, Raven Creek Farms. Nobody can believe in everything is right. No, you're really screwing yourself over. Okay, everything in this world is not right. Every religion is not good. Every philosophy is not right. It can't be. I'm sorry. It's just practical. You can't say that. But you got to realize there's a lot of untruth out there. Although there's some truth out there, the truth is out there, as Fox used to say, Fox Mulder. It is out there, but there's a lot more untruth out there, unfortunately, and that's what we got to watch out for.
Thank you, Rocky.
Put that in your pipe.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Rocky.
Rocky, I like that name, Rocky. You ought to be a boxer. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like the other stuff you get out of trees called maple syrup.
Make sure you do it respectfully. Because I'm telling you, you don't want to tick off an elemental or a tree spirit.
Oh, yeah.
I've been studying it a lot lately, looking at a lot of survival manuals and stuff on how to acquire water because, like I said last night, you're not going to live long without water. And that's very important that you know that you have a water source. And there's different ways to go about it, but it can be done.
Just do what I have to tell everybody to do. Make sure you have your olive oil with you, so you can put 4 drops on your tongue every few hours, and then make sure you have your Sawyer mini water filter. Those Sawyer mini water filters, you can get those, and they send you a bladder bag for it too that you can actually store your water in, and they send you everything you need for it for $20 on Amazon. So I mean, and Sawyer Mini just actually basically joined forces with CBN, Christian Broadcasting Network, to put fresh, clean drinking water in every third world country in the world. So, but yeah, Sawyer Minis are really good. They're the top quality product. They're not made in Japan. They're made in America, and they're called Sawyer Mini water filters. So, and you can get them on Amazon.
I've been watching a lot, and I would advise people to get on YouTube and watch a lot of these survival things on YouTube as well. You can get a lot of great, valuable information from a lot of these things. I forgot to where I'm watching these people build it. They actually go out in the jungle and build these nice houses out of bamboo and stuff. It's amazing. I love to watch them do that. It's amazing.
Watch a buddy of mine. Go to a buddy of mine's channel. I talk to him periodically. It's called Corporal's Corner, and he's on YouTube. It's called Corporal's Corner, and he does all kinds of nice builds and stuff out in the areas where he lives because he has this big property. So, but he teaches you all kinds of different survival skills. So,
that's a good one. Yeah, I've watched it. Evil operates through people, open doors, split person. Well, the demonic does use mental disorders. That's a big tool with them. They love that. They get behind that and push it. They love people with split personalities and stuff. Oh yeah. Because you see, that person, this person has a split personality, ever how many way it may splinter, they are divided inside. And the demonic loves something already divided because they can conquer it much easier that way. Been through a lot of stuff. So sad that abuse folks been through. Yeah, it's true. Here's what I've said this before, Overville. The demonic evil is bad enough, but the evil that humans do is just as bad in some aspects. A lot of these humans out there don't need demonic help. They're just as bad as the demons, okay? That's the way that goes, unfortunately. And humans can be very, very, very bad to each other, and it's not good. No. That's why I say,
Yeah.
a lot of times, William,
Well,
life is hard enough. Life is hard enough. You have to go through a lot to make a living and make a way through life and not starve to death and maybe have a roof over your head and all this other stuff. That's the American dream. Uh, but life's hard enough. And why do these things like black-eyed kids and all this want to come along and make things even worse on you? That makes me angry, really. It kind of sticks in here. You're doing the best you can, and something comes along, try to kick that sand in your face every time. Those that get show mercy shall obtain mercy.
Right. Well,
which is
let's see. I'm trying to get through all the comments here. Yeah, Berkey water filters are a good one too, but that's for a countertop. The one I'm talking about, the Sawyer Mini water filter, is a portable one you can carry around. Yeah, and it's awesome. It's the best on the market, I think. So
I got mine over here somewhere. Yeah, they're very handy to have in your bug out bag. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Well, we're over the 2-hour mark.
The spider would appreciate it. I like what Morticia Adams used to say. Okay, everything's your point of view. What is dinner for the spider is chaos for the fly. So it depends on which way you look at it.
Yeah.
But I try to be merciful with everything. I mean, I might need it one day myself. I kind of look at it that way.
Also, and Lori, also reverse osmosis is with water filtration is it forces the water to go through a membrane, and then after the membrane it hits like a UV filter, and then it goes back into the filter again, and then comes out drinking water. That's all reverse osmosis is. It's very easy to do. You could duplicate that device on your own if you knew how to do plumbing. And all you need is really a UV flashlight and a couple good batteries, and you could make yourself a good filtration system. The best natural filtration system in the world is going to be the side of a riverbank. Like I've always said, any water source, the sand and the dirt is the best filter that you're going to find to filter out contaminants. So if you're near a water source, go away from the water about 10 feet and dig down. Okay, dig straight down into the ground, with whatever you can, and until you hit water. Okay, that water that pools up in that dugout hole that you've made is going to be very, very good quality. Okay, it's been filtered through the river banks, okay, and the lake banks and the pond banks, okay. So, and then you just take and you boil that water, and you got yourself a great drinking water. So, and I think we are at the end of our show. I want to thank everybody, and please, everybody that won the prizes, please send me your mailing addresses so I can get those out to you, and we'll go from there. And I want to thank everybody. I want to remind everybody to please like, heart, share this out, and subscribe to the channels. You got myself, Nighthawk High Strangeness podcast channel, and we got New West Night Watchers podcast channel on YouTube that needs subscriptions. We need to get those subscriptions up. Okay. And we're going to be back on the air tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for another coffee session of Paranormal Brew, and discuss about the weird things again. So, G and Dennis, if you guys want to go ahead and talk about your shows tomorrow after our podcast, and how to follow you guys.
Yeah, okay. You can find us on YouTube. Just look up Demonology Today. And so like the Today Show, but this is Demonology Today. And it comes on at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Time. And this week we're gonna have an open mic night. We're gonna call you, come in with your questions. We're gonna answer all your questions, and whatever you come up with, you hit us with it. And I think it's gonna be a very interesting night. That'll be 9:00 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night, Sunday night.
Okay.
And Sunday 6 p.m. Central, I'm going to have Shane Michael Chris from West Coast Dogman Project on, and that's going to be a really good show.
Yeah, my little brother. My little brother. Yep, he is too. He's family to me. So, but you all don't want to miss that one. Shane does a lot of good. Shane is the one that designed the sticker that G had made up for us for our channel, and Shane is actually the one that designed this. He's the one that designed that with all the Bigfoot, the Dogman, Mothman, and all that on there with the DP design and the arrow. That was his design, and he gave it to me to use for the podcast, and you know, it's a really cool design. So that's one design I'm definitely proud of, having a little brother like that do that up for you. So little brother, if you're listening, yeah. Mahala. My voice is going on me. Anyways, let me get my breath. But anyways, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. here, same bat time, same bat channel. And we'll get back into the thick of it. Okay, everybody? Until then, and go out and enjoy your day. Get in touch with nature. Get in touch with, go out, and if it's raining, the rain hits your face. If it's sunny out, let the sunbeams hit your face. Make that connection. Like I always tell everybody, okay? And thank God for another beautiful day, another rainy day. It doesn't matter. We need the rain anyways, because without the rain, nothing grows. So it's kind of a win-win. And remember, when the clouds are out, there's always the sun shining behind them. So that's one way to look at it. So, but everybody have a great day, and we will see you all tomorrow morning right here. Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.